This is the truth about why most people never become rich. Most people think poverty is about money. They think wealth is about luck, timing, or being born on the right side of the world. They believe riches live outside of them, in markets, mentors, systems, or circumstances. But that belief is exactly why they never become rich, because the truth is uncomfortable. And most people spend their entire lives running from discomfort. The truth is this: riches do not begin in the bank account, they begin in the mind. And most minds are never trained to receive them. From the moment you were old enough to understand words, you were taught limits before you were taught possibilities. You were taught what is realistic. You were warned to be careful. You were praised fitting in, not for standing out. And slowly, quietly, almost invisibly, a ceiling was installed over your thinking. A ceiling made of fear. A ceiling made of borrowed opinions. A ceiling made of other people's failures, handed to you as wisdom. And here's the brutal part. Most people never question that ceiling. They live under it, they decorate it, they defend it. And then they wonder why they never rise. History tells a different story. Thomas Edison was told he was too stupid to learn. Andrew Carnegie arrived in America with nothing but clarity of purpose. Henry Ford was mocked for believing he could build a car for the masses. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. None of them were lucky. They were decisive. They chose a thought and refused to let the world vote on it. That is the first reason most people never become rich. They let the world decide what they are allowed to believe. Belief is not hope. Belief is not wishing. Belief is a decision so firm that doubt has nowhere to sit. Most people operate with soft beliefs. They say they want wealth, but they rehearse fear. They say they want freedom, but they practice comfort. They say they want more, but they cling to what feels safe. And safety has never created riches. Riches are born from a burning desire, not a preference, not a casual want, but a hunger so intense it reorganizes your behavior. A desire that wakes you up early and keeps you awake at night. A desire that makes excuses feel embarrassing. Most people never become rich because they never define what they want with clarity. They want more money, a better life, success. Vague desires produce vague results. The mind cannot move toward what it cannot see. The wealthy think in pictures. They see the number. They see the lifestyle. They see the impact. They see the version of themselves that already lives there. The average mind avoids clarity because clarity creates responsibility. Once you know exactly what you want, you can no longer pretend you're confused. You're either moving or you're choosing not to. And most people would rather say, I don't know, than say, I was afraid. Fear wears many disguises. It calls itself realism. It calls itself patience. It calls itself waiting for the right time. But fear is always fear. Napoleon Hill wrote that riches come to those who make a definite decision and back it with persistence. Not talent, not connections, persistence. And this is where most people collapse. They try once, they fail once, they feel embarrassed once, and they quietly retreat back to the crowd. But the crowd has never produced fortune. The crowd seeks approval. The wealthy seek results. Every great fortune in history passed through a season of uncertainty, rejection, and repeated failure. Edison failed over 1,000 times before the light bulb worked. Not because he was slow, but because he refused to quit. Failure didn't stop him. Interpretation stops most people. They fail and decide it means something about them. They lose money and decide they're not cut out for this. They get rejected and decide the dream was unrealistic. But failure is not a verdict, it's feedback. The rich understand this early, the poor learn it too late, or never at all. And here's the quiet truth no one likes to say out loud. Most people are not poor because of circumstance. They are poor because of habits. Mental habits first. They rehearse doubt daily. They speak limitation casually. They imagine worst-case scenarios with perfect detail, and then wonder why opportunity avoids them. The mind is a magnet. It does not attract what you want. It attracts what you consistently hold. This is why two people can start from the same place, with the same resources, and end up in completely different lives. One trains their mind like a weapon. The other leaves it undisciplined. And an undisciplined mind will always sabotage success the moment it gets uncomfortable. Wealth demands discipline before it delivers freedom. And most people want the reward without the regimen. They want the outcome without the identity shift. But money does not come to who you wish to be. It comes to who you become. And becoming requires transformation of thought, of behavior, of standards, of self-image,